अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेलकम टू चाट चाय चैटर। हम पाकिस्तानी यूएई से। आज का जो एपिसोड है वो बहुत मुख्तलिफ इसलिए है कि पिछले कई महीनों से जो है वो हम एक क्राइसिस से गुज़र रहे हैं। कोविड-19 ने हर किसी को अफेक्ट किया है, बहुत डिफरेंट तरीक़ों से अफेक्ट किया है। इसके ऊपर मैंने पहले भी प्रोग्राम किया है, एपिसोड किया है। बट अब क्या चेंज है, अब पिछले हफ्ते से देयर इज़ बीन अ ब्रेक थ्रू एंड इट्स गुड न्यूज़ फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस। देयर इज़ न्यूज़ अबाउट वैक्सीन जो है वो डिस्कवर हुई है। इट्स बीन मैन्युफैक्चर्ड एंड बहुत सारे लोगों को मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के बाद पीपल आर टेकिंग द वैक्सीन एज वेल। इट स्टार्टेड बीइंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड बट 1.5 मिलियन पीपल हैव ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट देयर लाइव्स फॉर द पास्ट ईयर। जब भी ये कोविड आया था तब से लेके अब तक जो है 1.5 मिलियन पीपल हैव लॉस्ट देयर लाइफ टू दिस डिज़ीज़। व्हाट इट इज़ उसके बारे में तो आप लोग पहले ही बहुत ज़्यादा जानते हैं। जो हम नहीं बात जानते वो हम वैक्सीन के बारे में नहीं जानते। मैनी ऑफ़ यू आर एप्रीहेंसिव। बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं वो ये सोच रहे हैं इज़ इट सेफ़ टू टेक द वैक्सीन, क्योंकि बहुत शॉर्ट टाइम में ये वैक्सीन बनी है। नॉर्मली वैक्सीन्स बहुत टाइम लगाती हैं। तो इसलिए आज हम जो हैं वो एक स्पेशल एपिसोड कर रहे हैं। मेरे साथ आज जो हैं वो डॉक्टर मोहम्मद रफ़ीक हैं। ही इज़ द मेडिकल डायरेक्टर ऑफ प्राइम हॉस्पिटल एंड ही इज़ अ पल्मोनोलॉजिस्ट स्पेशलिस्ट रेस्पिरेटरी मेडिसिन एंड स्लीप मेडिसिन। एंड आज उनसे हम बात करेंगे। अस्सलाम वालेकुम डॉक्टर, हाउ आर यू? Thank you so much. You have given us time, which is really, we are really thankful for that, because the viewers will definitely learn from your expertise. You have knowledge on the subject. हम जिसके बारे में भी बात कर रहे हैं। So कोविड के बारे में तो बहुत सारे लोग जानते हैं कि नाउ दे आर अवेयर कि क्या सिम्टम्स होते हैं, उनको नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या लेना चाहिए इफ़ दे हैव कोविड, और जो है वो हाउ दे कैन आइसोलेट और देमसेल्व्स क्वारंटीन कर सकते हैं एंड ऑल दैट। बट आज का सेशन विद यू आई वांटेड टू टॉक मोर अबाउट द वैक्सीन। सो टेल मी कि जो है व्हाट इज़ द न्यू डेवलपमेंट जो कि वैक्सीन की हुई है?
So I think now the best part is we are having some solution for the problem. अभी UAE approve किया license vaccines, especially the vaccines from Xenophon अभी तो license है, and vaccination drive शुरू किया. People started taking it, and generally the advantage of this vaccine is एक large population से trial हो गया, about 30,000 people, and ज़्यादा there's not much of untoward effect which has come or we heard about it. And अगर तो 2 injections, it is 2 doses we need to give, and I think it's a good solution to start thinking in this line and get yourself immunized, because as you start immunizing, the herd immunity also will, people start building up the immune systems also.
Acha, that is how it is going to happen.
Because most of them will start having antibodies, and then agar to another population who already got the disease already have the antibodies. So we are talking about fairly good people who will be immune to this disease process, COVID.
So I'll just go through the process for the people living in the UAE. For example, is this vaccine being given free for everyone?
नहीं, अभी तक वैक्सीन फ्री है. Usually government officials, government facilities. दुबई में 1-2 जगह हैं, और I think in Sharjah there's a couple of places. Abu Dhabi has quite few centers. So अभी तक it's all free. There's no charges.
So hospitals are not yet giving it.
We are not. We have to be. I think they have to license, and then उसके बाद we'll start. But it is free of cost, and people have already started taking it. Yeah.
So डॉक्टर, आप तो यूर पल्मोनोलॉजिस्ट, आपने जो है वो पूरा ये सारा स्टडी किया होगा, ऑब्वियसली आप फॉलो कर रहे हैं अपडेट्स एंड ऑल दैट. सो नॉर्मली वैक्सीन डेवलप करने में इट टेक्स ईयर्स, एंड देन द अप्रूवल में भी टाइम लगता है, रजिस्ट्रेशन होने में FDA अप्रूव करता है, देन इट्स सेंट आउट फॉर एवरीबॉडी, इट्स अप्रूव्ड फॉर यूज़. तो ये वाली वैक्सीन हैज़ बीन रियली डन इन less than around 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah, close below a year actually. Yeah.
So इसकी वजह से बहुत सारे लोग are apprehensive. They are really क्या कहना चाहिए, दे आर हैप्पी कि समथिंग इज़ देयर द सोल्यूशन, एज जैसे आपने ये कहा प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन आ गया, बट देन थोड़ी सी कंसर्न्स अबाउट सेफ्टी हैं. सो व्हाट इज़ योर ओपिनियन ऑन दिस एज एन एक्सपर्ट?
This is a special situation which we are dealing with because it's a pandemic and not like where we can wait for a long time. Thoda processes jaldi kiya. Research has been very active and quite a lot of players have been in this. I think around, if I'm right, 15 to 20 people who are in this line, and so that shows the gravity of the problem. But going on, still the trials have taken phase 2, phase 3 trials, and data has been picked up on adverse effects. And nothing untoward has happened. 1 or 2 issues here and there, but then the people who have manufactured wo bolta hai, and then it's they shows they had issues before these patients.
So during the trial period,
It's not directly related to the vaccination, so they are very clear on that. It's not vaccination induced, but they say it is due to basically some diseases which people have, and so I think nothing much untoward, very few isolated 1 or 2 things, but which has been clarified by the concerned players who are marketing. They come out clearly saying that it's not due to that. And as I said, we have to start doing it, and we'll have to keep looking for if anything happens. And there are categories where it can be given, where it cannot be given. और अभी थोड़ा समय के बाद वो further clarity मिलेगा, which अभी तो pregnant ladies and breastfeeding, children breastfeeding and children's, it is like an optional thing. Not close the thing, but they say it has to be clinician guided. Yeah, so there are areas where they are a bit, not very 100% where you can use, but there are areas where you should use also.
सही. सो आपने जो है वो हर्ड इम्यूनिटी का भी कहा था. सो ये वैक्सीन, हाउ डज इट वर्क?
Actually, the idea behind vaccination is to generate correct antibodies body में, and once you have a significant population, अगर antibodies हैं, then the host, the virus, the chance of virus getting into a host will come down marginally, because you have one population who are already got the disease or who are exposed to that, or let's say abhi to mild disease, asymptomatic. They already have antibodies, and then you have another. Now you have the other arm to that, where you start putting, vaccinating them and generating antibodies. So then, in that way, this is how the disease, you can get over the disease. And when we win the disease, then we are away from there.
So how long do you think it will take पूरे लोगों को जो है वो ये देने में?
पूरे लोग वैक्सीनेशन का मेरा आइडिया में ज़रूरत नहीं है पूरे लोग के. If you can target around 75 to 80%, then the job is done. क्योंकि the chances become much lesser.
So at this point जो है वो I won't be taking names of the companies जो दो जानते हैं. एक तो Xenophon has been already doing, and then there is one trial for maybe, चलिए मैंने नाम तो ले लिए, it's okay, with Pfizer that is going on. So one company, the efficacy of this vaccine कोई 90 something % है, and the other one जो Sinopharm is being used in the UAE उसकी 80 something है.
वैक्सीन का efficacy differences हैं, एक तो 85 है और दूसरा तो 92, 93, 95.
As हम patients, या मतलब जो हमें दी जाएगी वैक्सीन, what does this mean for us? हमें क्या फर्क?
The mean is the effectivity is higher, differs from vaccine to vaccine. That is what each company is rolled out. वो बोलता है तो इतना efficacy है. So that is something we have to rely on their data actually, because this information comes from large patient trials where they find the reports, and then that is what we have to rely on. But the second thing is the availability, and was it tested on a wide mix of community? These are some things, like in UAE, the trials, I'd be saying that I've tried on different population, multicultural population. So it is like if any adverse events happen, you can see it across a wide range of people, which has not happened actually. That's what I'm telling you. So this is studied on many larger cohort of people compared to what would have happened where there's a one segment of population. That depends on where these vaccines are being tried out actually. Second thing is the temperature का issue है.
Pfizer की वैक्सीन का है.
Lot of storage requirements चाहिए वो vaccine में. minus, you have to keep it in a very cold storage, and this vaccine doesn't need that much of this, storage. So, I mean, what this is, both are efficacy-wise differences there, but then you have to take everything put together, like what.
राइट हमें पास अभी चॉइस भी नहीं है, फाइजर वाली अवेलेबल नहीं है
अभी तक नहीं है,
तो हम
एंड आई थिंक इट माइट, हमको नहीं मालूम है कभी आएगा ये वैक्सीन, वो दूसरा फाइजर का और ऑक्सफोर्ड का वैक्सीन का।
मुझे ये भी बताइएगा डॉक्टर, मैं आई लेटर कम टू, आई हैव सम क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम व्यूअर्स हु हैव लिस्टेड आउट, लेकिन मैं ये पूछना चाह रही थी कि अगर हम वैक्सीन ले लेते हैं और फर्स्ट डोज आप होता है, देन 21 डेज़ के बाद हमारा सेकेंड डोज है विच हैज़ टू बी गिवन, सो ये वैक्सीनेशन कब तक इफ़ेक्टिव है? आई मीन हाउ लॉन्ग डज इट स्टे इफ़ेक्टिव? डू वी कीप, हमें इसको इम्यूनाइजेशन जो हमारा नॉर्मल होता है उसका पार्ट बननेगी ये?
अभी तक इट्स टू अर्ली टू गो ऑन दिस, बट लेट्स टॉक अबाउट 6 months to a year, that's what I think so the efficacy is. But then उसके बाद do we need to give further booster doses? Well, still we have to wait for the recommendations.
So we are not very clear on that.
Very clear on how long this one, but as I said, we talk about a year at least, to start off with, and then maybe we have to see, because we just started the process. We need to know how long the antibodies are going to be there.
Yeah, that's true. Abhi it's just been a week or so.
Once we know the antibodies are there for some time, then naturally we'll get more clarity on how long this vaccine, or should we give another booster after a year? We don't know. अभी तक is just 2 doses and this is the company's recommendation, and I'm sure वो अलग companies का recommendations अलग हो जाएंगे. Let's see, wait and watch.
So doctor, I have some questions from viewers of my channel, and Mr. Mohammed Kareem, he asks, if people who have been infected and have recovered, do they still need to take the vaccine?
अच्छा, normally infection हो जाए के बाद recovery हुआ, antibodies system में हो जाएगा. Maybe usually up to 3 to 6 months there will be antibodies. At least 6 months, this is what we say, 3 to 6 months. So maybe if he's thinking about vaccination, he should go for it around that time.
So many people are asymptomatic, they don't know even if they've had the disease or not. और उस केस में what should they do? Vaccine,
I think they should take. This is in cases where people already they're clear that they got an infection, very clear that they have infection. Then there is that window margin we can look at. But otherwise, you should, if you're not sure, then you should rather take it. And it's not mandated; it's optional for everybody. They can take a decision whether they want to get this vaccine.
अच्छा, this is what I was actually going to ask you. Should we go? अभी हम चले जाएं?
The choice, लोग के choice, individual choice. अभी तो ऐसे it's not a mandate vaccine or anything.
Because बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं they don't know अभी side effects का जो है details.
Apprehensive हो जाएगा, क्योंकि अभी तक it's a नया vaccine है. And another angle, if you see, the people who already got infection, they would have got it as, let's say, mild, asymptomatic. They've gone through this journey actually, so they will have to think whether they need to go for a vaccination. So there are some thoughts there, like individualized actually, each can vary.
So अगर जो है किसी को कोविड एक दफ़ा हो गया, आपने कहा जैसे माइल्ड हुआ है, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम गॉड फॉरबिड अगर किसी को होता है तो इज इट गोइंग टू कम विद द सेम माइल्ड सिम्टम्स या कहीं भी?
रीइन्फेक्शन नंबर ऑफ केसेस आर वेरी फ्यू, बहुत ज़्यादा फ्यू, एंड एक्सेप्ट if मीडिया में देखेगा आपको कुछ लोग, very few people had got this one, but generally it's not connected actually. Whether the reinfection will be severe, there's no link, because antibody effect weans off. Uske baad there is always a possibility of picking infection. So it is like you're back to status.
5-6 महीने के बाद जो है अगर
to status 1, antibodies is respond.
Right. So there's another question. Mr. Muhammad Aslam, he asks, do we need to wear a mask after vaccination?
Yeah, for sure, because as I mentioned, these vaccinations are not 100% protective. So there's always a margin of 15 to 5%. So still, if you fall in that bracket, you can always have a chance of picking up disease. And still, I think vaccination is there, but the basic pillars, wearing a mask and hand hygiene, hand wash, sanitization will continue, should continue.
That's a very, I think,
people will get a false sense of hope that I'm vaccinated and I can.
I think that is what is happening already, because in your mind you're kind of safe after the vaccine, you know.
We have not reached a level where, as I mentioned, though it 70 to 80% who already got this, and the disease numbers should come down also. Disease numbers. Now the disease numbers are not in that pressure.
But then it's just been a week.
Yeah, so let's see how the disease numbers come down. That is one area to look at. And
So there is another question from Mr. Zuhaib Nabil. He asks, what's the difference between the methodologies used between Pfizer and Xenophon? Which one is safer? We discussed this.
I think this is a bit. I don't want to talk on each companies, because even it's new for us. See, one of them uses, not to mention the name, one of them uses an inactivated form of the like a dead virus, inactivated virus. And the other one uses an mRNA. It's like a protein product, mRNA protein, to initiate antibodies. So that is why the efficacy difference is there.
There's another question from Riba Wasim. She asks if this is according to rumors, once the vaccine is out, so the rumors are there as well, that if the vaccine, does it have side effects on the female reproduction system, and does it affect the eyesight?
Trials में ऐसे कुछ नहीं है, and the only in one thing there were some neurological issues, but that was they were very clear, not linked to the injection, actually, not linked to the vaccine as such.
So there were some reports about facial paralysis.
Yeah. That is trigeminal neuralgia, then transverse myelitis, one case was there. But then, this is the people who were in the trial had these issues, and then the vaccination, the company, they had to come back and do a root cause analysis, and they clarified it's not due to the vaccination. This is what. But you're right, there are 4 cases, 4 or 5, not sure about the number. I had some trigeminal, so neurological things were there in one arm. They say it's not linked to the, this is what, so we have to follow what the...
So they've already given a warning to a certain group of people, jo exempt, of course, pregnant women, people with allergies as well.
Any vaccine, people with allergy, feeding population, pregnant ladies, or bache. Children's also, we have to see what age is allowed. So there are these.
It's not clear yet. Can children take the vaccine or not?
I think abhi tak they are not started the drive for children's.
So what's the age group they have set for now?
Now it is above children's and adults, generally adult population, and elderly also is given preference. Elderly, and if you see in the US, they started with elderly, the high risk population. Pehle high risk, because they are the people who are at high risk. Then you come down to...
So the frontline people have already been given.
Frontline people should be this is another, I'm skipped the frontline part. Of course, we have been always on the front line, and I think that's already the governments are doing initiative in that direction. For any frontline, you can go and just get vaccinated right away. So that vaccine, that is always number one, and uske baad high risk populations, elderly, people with multiple issues, diabetes, cardiac disease, they should have a priority for these people. And then you go down one by one to age can come down. So because we don't know how much is the amount of vaccines available at this point, and how much is the demand. So इसलिए तो prioritize करो, उसके बाद धीरे-धीरे आप पूरा population को.
This is just one last question. Abiha Fatma, again I think we just discussed this. She asks if we should wait to take the vaccine or take it immediately.
That is once again as a choice of individual. It is there, and we have to see what prevents you from not taking it. If it is the side effect concern, if you want to wait, this is something.
Again, a personal choice.
If you want to see how it goes, or if you want to wait for more solutions in the market.
So basically the government has not made it compulsory for everyone to actually.
तक मेरा समझे में ऐसे compulsory नहीं है, आपको choice है, and I think अभी only one vaccine is there, ready, approved. Maybe soon more brands should come in.
Hey, Doctor, this has been a very short talk, but I think very informative. It's going to be really, most of the questions have been answered. I'm sure कि जो है viewers के लिए बहुत useful होने वाली है. Thank you so much कि आपने हमें time दिया आज. एंड टू यू पीपल, यू ऑलरेडी हर्ड द डॉक्टर. आपके जो क्वेश्चंस थे वो उन्होंने आंसर किए हैं. बेसिक क्वेश्चंस यही हैं कि आपने जो है वो वैक्सीन लेनी है या नहीं लेनी है, ये आपके चॉइस है. जस्ट अगर आपने वेट आउट करना है तो आप वेट कीजिए. बट देन देयर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स जो उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई ये की हैं कि अगर आप वैक्सीन ले भी लेते हैं, प्रायोरिटी ग्रुप को मिलती है, और उसके बाद अगर आप वैक्सीन ले भी लेते हैं, आपने SOPs फॉलो करना नहीं छोड़ना है. आपने अपने मास्क भी पहन के रखने हैं, आपने डिस्टेंस भी मेंटेन करके रखना है. ये तब तक नहीं होता है जब तक फर्दर स्टडीज़ ये क्लियर नहीं करती हैं कि इसके एफिकेसी कब तक है वैक्सीन की, या हमें बूस्टर डोजेस कब ज़रूरत पड़ेगी या नहीं ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. ये सारा कुछ जो है वो वक्त ही बताएगा. उम्मीद है कि आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आएगा. आपके बहुत सारे सवालों के जवाब मिले होंगे. अंटिल नेक्स्ट टाइम, अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.